Other than that one thing, well, obviously a bit of Minecraft, a bit of Team Fortress, and I've also been playing through Deus Ex, which came out on last Friday.
The way that you say it so fast that it sounds like you're saying Deus Ex.
I was playing Deus Ex the other day, which is a porno simulator from Japan, in which you coerce schoolgirls into having sex with you. There's games really like that. I should probably stop joking about it. There was one called Rape Play, I think, which was almost exactly that. Have you not heard of Rape Play?
No.
Well, not surprising, actually, because as I say, it was banned. But those kind of games exist. Only in Japan. And maybe Russia.
Mental.
So yeah, I was playing through Deus Ex. I'll be very... And, well, I'm doing the review for Critical Gamer, like I said last time, so I'm not going to share everything. I did enjoy it, though. It only took 20 hours, which was a little disappointing.
Oh, only 20 hours. Oh.
Well, the first game is pretty long, if you decide to go exploring and things, and I was kind of hoping that it was going to be something that would take a lot of time. But it was good. There's a lot of... When I was writing the review, which I finished earlier today, or the first draft of it anyway, it was the first time I didn't have a score in mind that I was kind of thinking about giving it before I started writing, because I couldn't quite decide whether all the small niggles warranted lowering the score a lot.
So is that sort of feeling that as you're going through it, maybe they're annoying you a little bit, but not enough to totally pull you down to a certain point?
Or they annoy me more than they would a normal person because I can't unnotice.
Yeah. So you've got that sort of struggling with, like, looking back on it in reflection, whether you think it warrants, like...
There's also the extra problem that I'm reviewing the PC version because that's the version I played, and from what I hear, the console versions have different problems, like the graphics aren't up to much on the console versions and the load times are ridiculously long, whereas the load times on the PC, at least for me, are fine. I don't have any complaints.
The thing is, for both of those things, right, one, you're never going to get console graphics up to the same scratch as cutting-edge PC graphics. Fact. It's never going to happen because...
But this game has been built in mind with consoles, though.
Yeah, but it hasn't been built in mind with the fact that you're running with a monster PC.
That's true. Okay, yes, that's true.
So, they're never going to bridge that gap.
No, and as far as I'm aware, it's playable and it's good on the console. It's just
the same applies to the loading times as well, because your PC generally is going to be a lot more powerful than the history of the Xbox.
Yeah, although sometimes PC games do come with long load times, like Half-Life 2s were ridiculous.
But some of that comes down to the fact that it's not reading from the disk; it's reading straight it's reading from the PC. And I find that there was a certain point where disk loading was actually faster, and in some cases still is for certain things.
Sometimes, although you don't see it that often these days.
No.
It's everything Steam integrated, or
like my technical know-how isn't really up to scratch. But I think it really depends on like what's actually being loaded off the disk.
Yeah.
So.
I'm actually on the subject of Deus Ex.
You're actively making sure there's a little pause between those words.
Actively making sure I don't mention that Japanese rape game.
Can I
give an example? What?
Can I call the podcast Deus Ex?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, why not?
Right.
Deus Ex. I'm going to give an example.
It's the first time that I've got a name for the podcast during the course of it and not like on reflection.
Yeah, although you might say that and then we get to the end of this and it becomes something else based on something else that takes up more time.
Yeah.
You never know.
Bleh.
Right, so I'm going to give an example of something that I couldn't fit into my review because I've got a word limit, so I ran out of space for a couple of things.
Do you get the same word limit that I get?
Yeah.
So you can only get 1,000 characters or words in?
Yeah, because the belief is after a certain point, something can be too long for someone to bother reading. Although saying that, it's clear even 1,000 can be at times too long.
True.
Because people skip to the score and then make assumptions, like they did with L.A. Noire.
Don't stop.
I'm not going to go into... You're not letting me tell this damn story, so I'm going to L.A. Noire to punish you.
Right, okay. Carry on.